Hi, my name is David, and in today's tutorial I want to show you some of the typical mistakes that can happen when people are using the laser dark A foil, whether in A3 or in A4, and the laser dark B paper media in combination with ghost white toner when marrying the A and the B paper together. Remember from some of our other videos, you're printing on the A foil, which is a plastic foil with a very sensitive coating that can be easily scratched. And then you marry this foil with a B paper that can be easily identified by the yellow lines on the back together on a heat press, right? Okay, and we often get inquiries from customers who have trouble marrying these papers because after 2 minutes on the heat press, you have to peel these two papers while they are still hot. And yeah, for some reason there are many variables in the process. There's the temperature, of course. There's the time for the pressing. There is the pressure for the pressing. There is the heat on the lower plate of your heat press. And all these variables must run together for a perfect peel. Of course, also the timing of your peeling and the speed of your peeling. And I have pre-produced 3 typical mistakes, and I'm just going to run you through these 3 mistakes that widely happen when beginners start using this media. I'm going to show you actually the mistake, and I'm also going to show you and explain to you what went wrong and how to avoid this. All right? Cool. So let's start with this A4 print. It's a print of Tony the Tiger. If you want to see how it's done correctly, check out our video on this. But as you can see here, the glue from the B paper has attached to Tony, but it hasn't really properly attached. As you can see here, here there is no glue. The design is pretty ripped off. It's sprinkled here, sprinkled there. So actually, this will not transfer good. You can also see this on the A4. On the B paper, here's still the glue all over the place. And so this hasn't happened. So what happened here? When I was making this, this transfer, I was actually using far too low pressure because I had my heat press set to a pressure level that I used previously for a hoodie. And I just put it down and I cover it with standard silicone paper, and I closed the heat press at a very low pressure. So it closed really easily with no pressure at all. This is not the way it should work. If you want to get it right, you should make sure that the lower plate is hot, that you have the A sheet on the lower plate and covered with the B sheet, and then you're not using silicone paper, but you're using copy paper, and not only 1 sheet, but 5 to 8 sheets glued together with some adhesive tape, and cover it. And of course, make sure that you have adjusted your heat press to quite a firm pressure, so that you really put some pressure on it to fix this. That's the way it's done, and that's the way what went wrong in this design. I was using a far too low pressure when I'm pressing this together. Unfortunately, once pressed and separated, you can't use the image again, or you can't try to fix it. So actually these foils are wasted. So if you want to check out how the transfer with Tony works right, please check out the video. It's in the info pane up here. You can just click there and watch the full video. Okay, so the second mistake is from the Panda design. It's an A3 design. I'm actually having a video online for this design as well, where we're going to show how it's done properly. But what happened here is that we're getting quite a clean transfer all the way through. Especially up here, it's perfect, all nice, but something happened here in the middle. As you can see, there are some dots and stripes, and also on the B paper, you can see that the adhesive is still there. If we turn this around, it kind of looks like it would turn out okay. But if you put this on the dark fabric, I'll show this to you. I'm not going to press it, I don't want to ruin that t-shirt, but if you put this on a dark fabric, you will see that actually the white is not covering fully, and that this will shine through, so this design won't look good. This is again something that you can't repair. So you can't, go back to the heat press and reattach the glue. So what happened here? What happened here when I was peeling this design? I was using the right pressure, I was using the right temperature, but I was peeling far too quick. I was, you know, when I had it flattened out on the press, I was going like this. I was really like speeding my peeling process. And when you do this, the separation, especially in the more solid parts of the design, happens too quickly, and you literally tear off the glue with the B paper. So when you separate far too quickly, this is something that can happen, and this actually you know, ruins your design. And this is again a sheet of A and B which I have to throw away. If you want to see how Panda is done correctly, check the video. It's in the info pane up here, and you can see how it's peeled properly. And the third mistake, also on the Panda design, so you don't have to watch 3 videos to see how it's done properly. This image actually looks pretty perfect. But there's one thing that happened, and it can be seen on the back side of the B paper here. You can see it here. Sorry. You can see it here. It pretty much looks like what happened in the first place, but I made a different mistake on purpose here. I was using far too high pressure. So I had my heat press set to like maximum pressure, and I peeled constantly, I peeled smoothly, I didn't speed up or anything. But what actually happens is that when you're using far too much pressure, it can harm the coating of the B paper so that parts of it don't come over. What also can happen when you're using far too much pressure, it didn't happen in this case, but it can, is that you see some cloudy lines all over the A foil. This is another sign for having used far too much pressure. So make sure that you have a firm pressure when you press A and B together. So it's not like your heat press opens up and closes super easily. There's some pressure, we could call it like a 2 to 3 bar medium pressure. You will have to experiment with whatever setup you have. You see I have 2 different kind of heat presses here, so pressure is supposedly different on this one, either this one. But once you have your process running well, it's super easy and super constant, and you will get great results all the time. So to check out how Panda and Tony the Tiger are transferred correctly, please check out our other videos on the channel. If you like the video on the Q&A style, on fails, on things that go wrong in transfer, leave us a thumbs up below. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, put that down in the comments. Follow the channel to make sure that you stay up to date on new videos. And I say thanks for watching, and see you next time.